Key witnesses appearing in the House Oversight Committee hearing room today in the first Biden impeachment inquiry appeared to prove and provide support for the GOP-led investigation into Biden corruption. One America's John Hines has more from Capitol Hill.
What did you make, sir, of Professor Turley's response to some of your questions?
Oh, I think benefit to your family be a benefit to you, and it's of course. He gets that. I think that he talked about false statements, but Joe Biden's made false statements. So has the White House. The potential abuse of power. Professor Turley talked about there's the influence peddling scheme. We know that Burisma is the prime example of how that was done, particularly when Devin Archer, when they get a request, help us with the pressure. They call, after the request, what did Hunter Biden do? He called his dad. 5 days later, he goes and starts the campaign to get the prosecutor fired, and then they continue that campaign, and ultimately, the second prosecutor drops any charges, drops the case against the executives at Burisma. So I think those three things are important, and we're going to continue to look at them.
You asked him about a constitutional question about a vote on the impeachment by the House. What did he say about that?
Well, Speaker Pelosi, like I said, I left an impeachment deposition to go to the House floor back 4 years ago to go to the House floor to vote on whether to open an impeachment inquiry. So if the Speaker designates it such, you don't have to have a vote. I think it's probably stronger, as President Turley said, but you don't have to do it, and the Democrats did the same thing 4 years ago.
What do you make of this new information from the Ways and Means Committee, sir?
Well, it's good. It just buttresses what we sort of already know. I used some of that in my opening statement where they hired this consulting firm here in D.C. to help them deal with the fact that Zolochevsky was under investigation and ultimately got that overturned. And Hunter Biden put that all together. So I think there was some important information there. Of course, political figure number one, you can't ask about that. This whole thing, the concealing part goes to how the Justice Department handled the case.
You were engaged with some of these witnesses with regard to this hearing on impeachment, talking about some text messages and trying to follow up. What was the response? Were you satisfied with the response?
I was. I think what we're trying to establish is very, very simple. This committee should continue its investigative work, and now we should be looking into the ties of money and support, in my view, from Hunter Biden to Joe Biden. The text messages I laid out, I think, speak to that fact that they were trying to find ways to protect Joe Biden, even though it is very clear from the text messages that Joe Biden is involved.
You talked about an organizational chart. Apparently you have some experience with those. What was the point there that you were trying to get at?
Well, typically when you have complex org charts, that's because you have a lot of individual projects that are operating in their own sphere. You don't want all the projects to be commingled. You want to, in some respects, try to provide some level of legal protection. That's normal business practice, typically if you're in the real estate industry. But there's no real estate in the Biden family business operations. There is none. There is only one asset in the entire Biden family business operation, and that is Joe Biden. He is the asset. And so why do you have all these companies when there's a singular asset? You do that because you're trying to conceal the money flow surrounding the asset that is actually creating the money flow to begin with.
And the witnesses believe that this raises certain questions, is that
Yeah,
right?
I believe the witnesses definitely believe that we should continue to go down the line of our investigation. I believe we set the predicate for being able to get more financial records to then finally answer the question, was Joe Biden benefiting from the money coming from foreign interests, and was his son the go-between in order to do that? And I believe the answer is yes.
Congressman Tim Burchett from Eastern Tennessee, sir. Of course, this is the first impeachment inquiry hearing. What do you make of the progress of the hearing? Do you think that perhaps your committee is making inroads with its investigation, sir?
I think so, but I think what we have to do is tie it directly to his presidency in that time frame. The last transaction that we've got, it's moved up about 5 years back, and just keeps moving forward. And the last one, the Chinese wire transfer from Chinese communist member of $250,000 to the Biden residency, was when Joe Biden had announced he was running for president.
Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.